Hello and welcome to another video, and welcome to episode 1 of my Jacqueline Wilson read and vlog series. I might need to come up with a better name than that. So if you are probably a millennial girl in the UK, you will have heard of Jacqueline Wilson. I'm just going to close this curtain and get slightly less exposure on my face there. So Jacqueline Wilson was, and still is, a very, very popular children's author in the UK. She writes for kids from, I would say, sort of the children's younger readers, sort of early readers, 5 to 7-ish, right up to teenagers. And in September, she is releasing her first adult book, which is a sequel to the Girls trilogy. Quartet. It's 4 books in the Girls series. So the Girls series follows Ellie, Magda and Nadine, who are in the first book, I believe they are 14 and they are just gone into year 9 at school, and they are just being teenagers, to be honest. So they're struggling with their weight, with meeting boys, having a first boyfriend, with falling out, with friendships, with going out late, with partying, and with all that kind of social pressure that you have as a teenager. I loved the Girls series. So it came out pretty much at the same sort of, like when I was sort of 13, 14. I believe it came out around about like late 90s, early 2000s. So I was maybe a little bit younger. Maybe I was like about 12, 13-ish. But I really, really enjoyed that series. So I'm incredibly excited that Jacqueline Wilson is re-meeting those characters again as adults in her first adult debut. And in celebration of that, I have decided over the next few months I'm going to be reading a series of Jacqueline Wilson books. So I'm starting off with today's vlog, this month's vlog, and this is reading some of my childhood favourites. I've got 5 books here. I do want to add a 6th on, but I couldn't find my copy at home. I think I must have given it away at some point, which makes me very sad. And I haven't been able to find it in any charity shops. And now I'm like, do I want to buy this one specific book? So I tried to get it from the library. I've got it on hold. I'm waiting for it to be delivered to my library. If it comes today, I can read it. But if it doesn't, then unfortunately I won't be reading that book. That book is put up here, Double Act, which is one of my favourite Jacqueline Wilson, so I'm really sad that I seem to have given away my copy. But the books that I will be reading, I've got them here. So these are all ones that I read as a child. They vary from the kind of middle grade to, there are a couple for older readers in here as well. And they've got various themes. And this is one of the things that I really, really love about Jacqueline Wilson, is her books have got strong themes and strong issues which it deals with. So I'm going to be reading The Story of Tracy Beaker. This is probably Jacqueline Wilson's most well-known book. Tracy is a 9 or 10-year-old girl. She lives in a children's home, which she calls the dumping ground. And it's just her life as a child in care. So Tracy has so much attitude and is so, so lovable. Tracy Beaker, there are multiple spin-off books. This has been made into many TV shows. So The Story of Tracy Beaker was a TV show on CBBC in like the early 2000s. But since then, I believe the TV, I don't know if the book, but I know the TV show has followed Tracy now as an adult, as a mother. And yeah, love this book. This one was written in 1991. Like I said, I think it was actually one of Jacqueline Wilson's first books as well, but absolutely fantastic. Next, I'm going to be reading Dustbin Baby. So this one is one that is a slightly later one. I believe this came out 2001. I did look these up just now. I don't just know this. 2001. And in this one, we're following a girl who was found as a newborn baby in a dustbin. So again, it's the kind of orphanage growing up in care themes, which is similar to Tracy Beaker. And this girl is trying to find out who she is, and kind of who her family are, because obviously she doesn't, her mother was never found. I've then got Bad Girls. So Bad Girls I remember really liking. This one came out again early 90s. I think it was 96. This is my original copy, which is why it is very yellow and very tatty. It's even got Miss Eyre written in it, because this is one that I had when I was teaching, and so I would take to school to share with the children there. So very tatty. But yeah, Bad Girls follows our young girl Mandy, who is bullied at school, and she befriends Tanya, who again is in care. This is a common theme across Jacqueline Wilson books. Tanya has been fostered by the woman across the road who generally specialises in babies, and they become friends. That is until Tanya gets in trouble with the police and kind of pulls Mandy along. This one has got not only the themes of being in care, but it's about being bullied, which again I really enjoy the way that I remember really liking that book. We've then got The Suitcase Kid. This one is another early one, 92, and this one follows our main character, whose name I don't remember, whose parents have split up, and she is 1 week with mum and mum's new family, and 1 week with dad and dad's new family. And just the kind of feeling of being a child of divorce, I guess, and not really feeling like you've got, move Bella's tail, not really feeling like you've got a home, and being kind of split, living out a suitcase between the two families. I'm excited to reread this one. And then the final one I've got is The Illustrated Mum. This one, I don't actually remember it clearly, to be honest. I know I have read it. This one came out in 99, so it was when I was a little bit older. This one, I believe the kind of like main issue in this is a mother's mental health issues. So in the synopsis it says, she wishes her beautiful mum wouldn't stay out partying all night or go weird now and then. Sometimes she just can't help wishing that her mum was more normal. So I think this one might be to do with mental health. But I'm again excited to get to that one. That one I remember, I know I have read it, but I don't remember it clearly. So this is my stack of childhood favourite Jacqueline Wilsons that I'm going to be reading in this vlog. So I will be, like I said, I will be doing a Jacqueline Wilson vlog each month up until I Think Again comes out. So I've got I've got planned a vlog of new to me contemporaries, of historical Jacqueline Wilsons. She writes both like contemporary to the time, but also one set in like Victorian times and historical fiction, which I really enjoyed. And then I'm going to do a vlog of the older teenage books as well. So that is more than enough blabbing. I'm going to get on and start reading these books, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. Hello, I've just finished reading the story of Tracy Beaker. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So yeah, we're following Tracy. Tracy is, can't remember, 10 I think. And it starts off with being Tracy's diary, and it is just her telling her own story. What I love about this is Tracy has got so much character. She is such a well-formed character that you can just believe that she would jump off the page. Also, just as a little shout out, I have got to give props to CBBC for their casting for Tracy Beaker, because bang on. So Tracy believes that her mum, Tracy kind of tells fibs, and she knows that she tells fibs, and everybody else knows that she tells fibs, but she still just does it. And she likes to tell people that her mum is this famous actress who's starring in a movie in Hollywood, and that's why she hasn't come to pick her up yet, because she's really busy filming a movie in Hollywood. We never meet Tracy's mum in this book, but Tracy does sort of use this idea of her mum to kind of help protect herself, I guess. I really enjoy like the self-awareness of Tracy as well. You know, she a few times says, you know, like I'm not a cute, pretty little kid, so I'm never going to be adopted. I'm never going to be fostered now. I'm stuck in the dumping ground, which is such a sad idea for a 10-year-old to be saying. But I think it is so, again, interesting how well Jacqueline Wilson has kind of embraced Tracy and her life in a children's home. I also really like with Tracy. Tracy multiple times says she doesn't cry. She doesn't cry. Sometimes she gets hay fever and it might look like she's been crying, but she doesn't cry. She might have got an attack of hay fever in the middle of the night, but it was hay fever. It wasn't crying. And again, I just love that. I love that kind of bold brassiness of Tracy. She's got such a soft heart as well, and I love her. What I will say is I'm not going to be rating these books in this vlog. I'm reading these books for my own nostalgia and my own enjoyment. I don't want to be kind of rating them and saying that this one's better than that one, because they're just all so cute. They're just like fantastic stories that, again, I don't want to be kind of talking about them when I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but basically, yeah, I'm not going to be rating them. But Tracy Beaker is still fantastic. One thing that I have been a little bit worried about, or I guess I am a little bit worried about, most of these books, at least the ones that I'm reading, were written in the 90s or early 2000s. And I am a bit worried that some of them may not have aged well. I do remember reading one of the girls' books a few years ago and thinking, there are things that have not aged well here. I haven't noticed anything like that in Tracy Beaker. But again, that doesn't mean that it isn't there. I'm reading these purely from a place of nostalgia. I'm not reading them critically. So I will try and let you know if there is anything that I'm like, that was a term that did not age well. But I have just had such a good time reading Tracy Beaker. I'm going to go on to Dustbin Baby. Hello, I have just finished reading Dustbin Baby. I'm crying. It's so good. Sorry, I just fell out of frame there. This one, I remember I always used to really like it, but this one, I think this came out originally in 2001, which is, I would have been in secondary school. I'd have been maybe 11 or 12 then. So for me, it was it was one of like the later ones that I read, because again, I was kind of aging out of Jacqueline Wilson. However, this is one of the more mature, I would say, younger YA books. We follow April, who is celebrating her 14th birthday. She was abandoned as a baby, a few minutes old, put in a dustbin. And she's trying to find her mother. And so she kind of ends up following back throughout her life. So she went back to her first foster mother, who had her for like about a year as a baby, doesn't really remember her. She remembers about her first adoptive parents. Her adoptive mother committed suicide. And she thinks of her next foster family, where she was for a while, a school where she was for a long time, and then back to her current foster mother. I cried so many times. It's so sad. It's just kind of like I'm going to start crying again. It's one of those kind of like really heartwarming, sad books where you're just there like, I want to just give you a big hug. But yes, I cried a lot. Still crying now. And I do think that this is fantastic, particularly if, you have got like I said, like a kind of teenager or young teenager, because this is just such a heartwarming book. Something else I really like is the little kind of Easter eggs from the Jacqueline Wilson universe. So we meet Tanya, who is one of the main characters of Bad Girls. We meet Elaine, who is the same social worker as Tracy Beaker's. Is Tracy Beaker's social worker. So we kind of see these little crossovers, which I just think is brilliant. I really love how that's done. I just think it's such a such just like a lovely little kind of, like I said, like just little Easter eggs. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. To me. I am really enjoying this vlog so far, and I'm really upset with myself that I've got another book. I've got a book for work that I have to be reading because I just want to sit and binge all my Jacqueline Wilsons, really. I'm very happy that I'm going to be repeating this vlog every month for the next few months. So yeah, book 2 down, Dustbin Baby has been read, and I'm going to read a bit more of the book that I have to read, and then I'm going to go and start Bad Girls. Hello. Tiny little bit of a different angle, but I feel like I've been doing a lot of filming in this very seat, so I thought I'd move slightly. I've just finished reading Bad Girls. Well, I say I just finished reading, that's a lie. I read this one in the bath last night, and now it is the morning, so I read this one last night in one sitting. I really enjoyed this one. So in this one we're following Mandy. Mandy is bullied at school, and she is 10, but she's small. Her mum dresses her in little pink like frocks, plats her hair, and so Mandy looks more like a kind of 7 or 8 year old, and that is one of the reasons why she's bullied. And this starts with Mandy and the girls who are bullying her teasing her so much that Mandy runs out in the road in front of a bus and gets knocked down, and she sprains her arm. She then ends up having to spend a couple of days at home, where she meets Tanya. Tanya is a foster child of the woman across the road. The woman across the road generally fosters babies, but she's looking after Tanya, who is a teenager, because Tanya's really, really good with kids. So Tanya and Mandy start to become really good friends. Tanya is only 14, so she is older than Mandy, but she's not a huge amount older than her. And she kind of takes Mandy under her wing, kind of treats her like a little sister. That is until it's the summer holidays and Tanya shoplifts. She gets caught and things all go downhill from there. What I love about this book is, first of all, the way that the bullies and the bullying themes are done in such a way that you really feel for Mandy, but you also really feel that sort of empathy of what can she do, and just the way that kids will tease each other. So, you know, the kind of standing near and talking about, but not talking to. I'm not talking to you. You can't be angry. I'm not talking to you. Or, you know, they're like not touching, can't get mad. Which, and I really, really feel for Mandy in this one. I also really loved, and I think I said this about Dustbin Baby, because in Dustbin Baby, we see April comes and visits Tanya's foster mother, Pat, and meets Tanya. And again, I just love that kind of crossover exists, and we don't obviously see April in this one, but again, I love, you know, knowing that Tanya is more of a rounded character who does these things off page. And this is something that I really love with Jacqueline Wilson completely. Like, all of her characters are so real. We know that her characters are having lives off page because of course they are. So yeah, had a really, really good time reading this. I also really love that Tanya is a Nirvana fan, and she has Kurt Cobain on her shirt, and it's kind of like feeds Kurt little crumbs of food. Again, love that. I just think, again, this is written in 96. Kurt Cobain died in 94, so it is sort of relevant to the time without aging it, I feel. But yeah, I had a really, really great time reading Bad Girls. It made me cry. I really enjoyed as well, towards the end, Mandy's back at school and her new teacher is doing something called Circle Time, where they talk about issues and they're discussing bullying and how we should feel sorry for the bullies as well as people being bullied, and how then the other girls who were part of like the bullying gang move away from the main girl that was bullying, and sort of, actually, we're sorry, and apologised and admitted that they were wrong. And I think that was just a really clever way of addressing the bullying issue in here, without being a sort of, everybody hugs and makes up and it's all good. Discussing and acknowledging that bullying isn't as straightforward as that. So yeah, had a fantastic time reading this one. Really, really good. I'm going to continue reading. What am I reading next? I think I'm reading The Suitcase Kid next, which I haven't read that one for years. Double Act still hasn't come in from the library, and I need to get this vlog wrapped up tomorrow. So basically, today's Wednesday, and I'm going to Italy on Friday. So I need to get this vlog wrapped up today, edited, scheduled, ready to go live for Sunday. So because I am just going to double check, but I don't believe the Double Act has come in. I haven't had an email. So it's £7 for an e-copy. I'm not paying that. I might, there's no point me even going on Vinted and trying to buy it now, because it's obviously not going to arrive before I go away. So I think Double Act is very sadly a miss, but I might still get it just because I have nostalgia and I want to read it. But yeah, that's my update. I'm gonna go and read Suitcase Kid. I'm gonna try and read Suitcase Kid and The Illustrated Mum tonight, and then I can finish this vlog. But I'm having such a good time. I'm having so much fun. I'm loving these books. It's fantastic. This morning I have finished reading The Suitcase Kid, which again didn't actually make me cry, but did make me tear up. So in this one we're following Andy. Andy's parents have split up. She spends 1 week with her mum and her mum's new family, and 1 week with her dad and her dad's new family. So Andy feels like she doesn't have a home. She's having to share a bedroom with her stepsister, who's horrible to her, at her mum's house, and share a room with her step twin siblings at her dad's house. And she just sort of feels like no one really loves her anymore. She just wants to go back to how it was. This book is very diddy. It's only 150 pages, but it is so cute. I really liked the story in it. I really liked hearing from Andy's perspective what it feels like to be a child of divorce and be kind of shunted between, house A and house B. I also think this would be a fantastic book for parents to read with children if they're going through a breakup, because again, it's a really nice way to kind of see not only how Andy feels, but also how it's resolved. And what I like with it as well is it's not all happily ever after, la la la. She's still, at the end, she is still moving between house A and house B, but she's got into a sort of rhythm and she's sort of feeling a little bit better about it. It's not a magical mum and dad get back together and everyone lives happily ever after. And that's what I really like with Jacqueline Wilson books, is while they do talk about these real issues, they don't pretend like there's a magic wand that's going to fix everything. So again, had a great time with this one. I am going to wrap this vlog up now. I have read 4 books this week. I haven't had a chance to get to The Illustrated Mum, so I'm going to put that one in next month's vlog instead. Yeah, I want to wrap this one up because I'm going away soon. But I've had a great time revisiting my old favourite Jacqueline Wilsons, and I'm really excited to carry on this series. Please do let me know if you like this video. Comment down below if you read Jacqueline Wilson, what your favourite book of hers was. And yeah, like I said, this is going to be a mini series over the next few months, so you are going to see lots and lots of Jacqueline Wilson content here. So hopefully this is something that you'll enjoy. If not, well, skip it and come and watch the next video. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.